This is section 5.3, part A, conditional probability and independence. The probability that one event happens, given that another event is already known to have happened, is called a conditional probability. Suppose that we know that event A has happened. Then the probability that event B happens, given that A has already happened, is denoted probability of B slash A. This slash is telling us given A. So this is the probability of event B happen given that event A has already occurred. So let's return to the setting of pierced ears example. If the student who is randomly selected has pierced ears, what is the probability that the student is male? So we are finding the probability that the student is male given they already have pierced ears. Now, the total number of people who have pierced ears is 103. Of those 103 people, how many of them are male? And that is 19. And if we want to rate that into a percent, this would give us about 18% of the men or the male students in that class have pierced ears. So the probability of selecting a student who has pierced ears, who is a male given that they have pierced ears, is 18%. If we know that a randomly selected student is a male, what's the probability they have pierced ears? So this time, we're finding the probability they have pierced ears given that we already know that they are a male student. So we have 90 male students in the class, and of those 90 male students, 19 of them have pierced ears. So we know that given the student is male, we have a 21% chance that we will select a student who has pierced ears. Students at the University of New Harmony receive 10,000 course grades last semester. The two-way table below breaks down these grades by which school of the university taught the course. The schools are liberal arts, engineering and physical science, and health and human services. So, college grades tend to be lower for the students in engineering and physical sciences than in liberal arts and in social sciences, which include health and human services. Consider the two events. Event E is the grade comes from engineering and physical science course, and event L is that the grade is lower than a B. What's the probability of event L? Interpret this probability in context. So what's the probability that the student gets a grade that is less than a B? To do this, we first have to fill this table out so that we're looking at the courses differently. So we need to combine all students who are in liberal arts and in health and human services together into just this one category, and then we'll leave all of the engineering and physical science students alone. Now we are going to find their totals. And we have students who receive an A or a B. So in the physical science, A or B would add up to 800. Those that got below a B are also 800, for a total of 1,600 grades. The students in liberal arts or in health and human services that have an A or a B, so we add those together, would give us 5,544 students, or out of those two categories that are below a B, we have 2,856 grades, which is a total of 8,400 grades. We could then find the total number of A's or B's in the entire school, all below B's, and then the total number of grades, which is 10,000. So the probability that a student receives a grade that is below a B is the total number of grades that are below B's over the total number of grades, which is going to give us about a 36.56% chance that the student gets below a B. We need to find the probability that a student is in engineering given that they got a grade below a B, and we need to find the probability that they got below a B given that they are engineering. Which of these conditional probabilities tells us whether the college's engineering and physical science students tend to earn lower grades than the students in liberal arts and social sciences? So let's find our probabilities first. The probability that a student is in engineering given that they got a grade below a B. To find this, we're going to look at the number of grades that are below a B in engineering and physical sciences, and we're going to put that over just the total number of grades that are below a B, because we already know that they are given that they're below a B, so that would be our denominator. So there are 3,656 grades that were below a B in the entire university, and then of those students, 800 of them were from the engineering and physical sciences. So given that you had a grade below a B, the probability that it was from engineering and physical science was only 21.88%. Now, if we look at what's the probability that they get below a B given that they're in engineering, the number of students that are in engineering, because we're given that they're in engineering, total is 1,600, so that would go on bottom. And then of those 1,600 students, how many of them got a grade below a B would be 800. So there's a 50% chance that if you're in engineering and physical science, you will actually get a grade below a B. This probability of getting a B given that you're in engineering gives the probability of getting a lower grade if the student is in engineering. We would want to compare this to the probability of getting a lower grade if the student is in liberal arts and social sciences, but this is the one we would look at to see if you're more likely to get a B, below a B if you're in engineering than if you were in liberal and physical sciences, not in physical sciences.